Okay, we're here at Romford Short Film Festival. Just seen some shorts, obviously. I'm here with one of the filmmakers behind Echo. Would you like to just introduce yourself and the role in the film, please?
Hello. I'm Alex Robert, and I was the editor for Echo.
Thank you very much for joining us, Alex. So, as an editor, when do you first join this project? Do you get a script, or are you on board before that?
I was on board here while they were, just after they shot this. I was given the script before I started editing, just to read and to learn the story, and I really, really liked the story, and I felt very touched by the story, and that's what made me accept working for the director, TK. And so I came onto the project just after the shoot.
So, not everyone always knows what an editor does. It's a bit of a mysterious sort of job. Everyone's got a rough idea, but not the sort of day-to-day. Give us a brief insight into what exactly your role in the filmmaking process is.
It varies quite a bit. It depends on the director, on how much control he wants for the final project. But with TK, we had very good collaboration. We shared each other's ideas, and we just found common grounds for each scenes and each cuts and everything. It took a lot of drafts.
Right.
I think overall, we were near over 10 drafts.
Of the edit
Of the
process,
edit.
okay. And how long is that in terms of days, weeks?
So from the very beginning till the final draft and everything, I think it was about 6-7 weeks.
Right, okay.
And then afterwards, there was the composer and the color grader that came in afterwards.
Were there any films or filmmakers that you and the director both had in mind when you sort of undertook the work?
Well, when I was editing and when I read the script and saw the footage and kind of halfway through the editing process, there was a time I just saw a film just before, a French animated film which tackles very similar topic as this, is kind of accepting loss and grief. It's a French animated film that came out 5 or 6 years ago called I Lost My Body, and that film that's where I got inspiration from.
I think that was on Netflix, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I did see that. So the final film's about 20 minutes, is that right? How much footage did you have to lose, and was there any particular bits that were really painful to lose from the final film?
Yes, there were specific moments in different angles and different takes that we had to get rid of, which was quite painful, but at the end I took down from, I think the total amount of footage timing wise was near let's say about 15 hours.
15?
Yeah, hours of footage to 20 minutes.
That's a lot of editing.
Yeah,
You were busy.
It's
it's a heavy film, it tackles a lot of heavy subjects, but there must be some moments in there where you're really happy with either the beat of the edit or the process. What are some of those moments?
The moments I enjoyed the most were really some of the flashback scenes I really enjoyed, especially the scene where the mother comes into when she sees her husband dead and the camera pulling back and the door closing by itself. Found that quite interesting. I really enjoyed the shot where it cuts from where the protagonist Mary's with the therapist, and it cuts to her with the therapist outside.
Yep.
To suggest that was kind of all in her head.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that kind of cut. That was something I really appreciated. So yeah, those two.
Yeah, that was a really good cut. How do you time that then? How do you know how long is not too long and what is right for someone like myself who doesn't do editing?
It's partly technical, but also partly it's very subjective. But in the technical speaking, there are beats, and usually you don't want a shot where nothing happens to last more than 2 seconds.
Okay.
Where there's completely silence and nothing happening, which is why for the cut, when it cuts to her by herself, we kept it very short, very quick glance. So yeah.
Are there any editors in filmmaking that you admire, that you'd like to, if you could learn under one editor out there?
Yes, the editor who's still working now is the editor, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, but the editor for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay. I
really like it, mostly because he edited it all, even with the special effects apparently, which was crazy.
What was that, sorry?
Paul Rogers, I believe it was.
Paul Rogers, yeah. On Adobe Premiere Pro, you know Avid and things like that I found really surprising, and of course it's super dynamic, and as an editor that's kind of what you want, is to work on things that are super dynamic and which requires a lot of cuts, even though I have a guilty pleasure as an editor. I know it might not be great, but my favorite types of shots are long takes, long shots, so yeah.
So would you say that editing is quite instinctive, or is it kind of something you can learn, or a bit of both?
The technicality you can learn, because it's very, technical and a lot of, just very technical. But I think, how I see how you can learn how to edit film is by watching films. I think just see all different genres of films and see how each genres are cut. How, because comedy is all, when you want to edit comedy, that's all about timing and the timing of the cuts. Action, of course, in action sequences, it's all about timing of the cuts. So yeah, it's every genre, the style and the kind of rules of editing are all very different. So yeah, I'd say when it comes to the more creative side of editing and less so the technical side, it's just watching as many different genres of films as possible.
That's interesting. Have you only edited shorts, or have you edited features as well?
I've only edited shorts so far.
Do you one day want to do features?
Yes, I would one day, of course, work on features, and as someone who's French, I would love to one day work on a French feature. That's one of my dreams, yeah.
Okay. And if you could pick any director to collaborate with, who would you choose?
Well, my favorite directors, I always have two favorite directors, Pedro Almodovar, the Spanish filmmaker, and Nicholas Vindegraffen, the German filmmaker,
Nice.
Norwegian filmmakers.
Yeah. And why him? Because I really enjoy his films, but why?
One of my favorite, at least because of the editing style and the cinematography, but also the pace of his films I really enjoy. They're very slow. Yeah. They kind of make you kind of are really in his world with those very slow, long panning shots and long takes. I really like his his more recent works. Very much more his artistic approaches. I think are a lot more daring, and I really like his approach.
So he made films. He made Drive, didn't he? The Pusher trilogy. Yeah. Only God Forgives. What was the other one? He made the newer one.
He's made two shows recently.
Oh yeah.
A American show called Too Old to Die Young,
That's it. Yeah.
which I really enjoyed with the pacing, how slow it is, but also I have my favorite kind of lighting, especially when it comes to editing, is neon lights, and Nick has been
Neon Demon.
used
That's it. Just remember.
lots of neon.
Neon Demon. That's the
Yeah.
cover title. Yeah, that's a great film. Did anyone? Yeah. Question. Yeah.
How do you deal with the conflict between the director knowing how much energy it took to get the shot and actually how important it is to the storyline?
Yes, that's there's always when with collaboration, there's never going to be always agreement on everything. That's the best. The best part is when there is disagreement, because with disagreement, then we can have dialogue and converse, and from there, we can find probably even a better solution than either of our ideas in the first place. So, of course, it's very frustrating when I send in a draft and the director says that he wants a complete overhaul, change of the scene that I cut. But then after some discussion, we kind of find an agreement of, an agreement, yeah.
Would you say that editing is, or finding an editor is like finding a second director? And if so, what are the things that you see in the shots that you've received from filming that he doesn't see?
No, that's fine. I guess to answer the second question, I think the thing that an editor looks very carefully at, which maybe a director doesn't look so carefully at, is continuity in a more practical sense, is between different takes and different angles, to make sure that that continuity exists, such as when an actor is positioned a certain way, and their movement throughout the take, and throughout different takes, you have to make sure, and so then from there you can see where you can cut, because from one angle to the other, the performance is very similar, therefore it won't be so jarring of a cut, and things like that. And the first question was, I'm sorry?
Is finding an editor, or is editing like finding a second director?
When I started editing, there was one, I think it was, I think it was even Paul Thomas Anderson. When I saw a video, an interview of his, he said that an editor is a third director, or a second director, but the three directors are the screenwriter, the director, and the editor, because those are the three moments where a film can completely change and where you can almost create something completely new. So yeah, I look at editing as kind of a third director. Yeah.
I was going to say it's more like a second writer, I would say, rather than a second director.
You very lightly touched on it earlier, but just out of curiosity, how much creative freedom did you actually have when editing this film?
At the end, I would say it's about 40 to the editor and 60 to the director, because of course he has the final say.
Yeah, of course.
As it's his film, but as an editor, you need to also show your ability and your skills and your ideas on the film, because you're the editor. The director kind of trusts you to do the right things as well.
Yeah.
So yes, I would say at the end it's about a 60-40.
Final question from me. What's your next project? What's it about?
Well, I'm actually currently working on it. We're in post-production of his next project, next short.
Yeah, so it was a good experience making this film then, that you want to work with them again?
Yes, yeah.
Good, that's good to hear. Thank you very much, Alex, for coming and representing this film. It's a really great film. It's got some really interesting ideas, and it's just a really good project.
Thank you.
Can I have a round of applause, please, for Alex?